Imagine opening your next lab report and seeing your creatinine higher again, even after doing everything your doctor told you. It's scary, confusing, and you start wondering what you're still doing wrong. But here's the part nobody expects. The real problem might not be your meals, your medication, or your protein. It might be hiding in the spices you use every single day without thinking. 3 spices quietly protect your kidneys, and 3 others slowly tear them down, and almost everyone gets them backwards. Imagine opening your next lab report and seeing your creatinine higher again, even though you did everything right with your diet. This is the moment most people feel their stomach drop. High creatinine isn't just a medical term on a piece of paper. It's a sign that your kidneys are struggling, and what scares people the most is that millions are walking around with the same problem without even knowing it. Creatinine keeps rising quietly, and by the time many people notice symptoms, their kidney function has already taken a serious hit. When those numbers keep going up month after month, it creates a mix of emotions that's hard to explain. There's fear because you don't know how fast things might get worse. There's confusion because you think you're eating clean and following every instruction doctors give. And there's frustration because you keep hearing the same generic advice. Watch your diet, reduce salt, drink water. But none of it tells you what's actually causing the damage inside your body. You start asking yourself what you're missing and why nothing seems to be working. The surprising truth is that most people never look in the one place they use every single day, their spice rack. These everyday flavors feel harmless. We sprinkle them on food without thinking twice. But spices aren't just tastes. They're chemical compounds that interact with your body in real ways. Some of them quietly support your nephrons and reduce stress on your kidneys. Others can slowly worsen inflammation and add more pressure to organs that are already struggling. The problem is that nobody thinks these tiny shakes of seasoning could matter. Before we even touch the good versus bad spices, you need to understand what those creatinine numbers really mean, because once you see that, you'll never look at your kitchen the same way again. If you only see creatinine as just a number, you're missing the real story your kidneys are trying to tell you. Creatinine is simply a waste product your muscles create every day. Your kidney's job is to filter it out through tiny units called nephrons. When these nephrons are healthy, creatinine stays in a normal range. When they're damaged or overloaded, creatinine starts rising. That rise isn't random. It's a clear sign that your filtering system is struggling to keep up with the waste your body produces. Nephrons don't fail overnight. They weaken slowly as inflammation, oxidative stress, and uncontrolled blood sugar quietly attack them day after day. Inflammation makes the filters swollen and less efficient. Oxidative stress creates unstable molecules that hit the kidney cells and reduce their ability to clean your blood. High blood sugar forms sticky compounds that attach to the filtering membranes and make them stiff and scarred. None of this causes pain in the beginning, which is why people don't notice the damage until their lab numbers change. What makes this even more important is how many small, repeated choices play a role in this damage. Something as simple as what you sprinkle on your food can either add pressure to your kidneys or reduce stress on them. These choices don't seem big, but when they happen every single day, they stack up. Over time, they either support your nephrons or slowly wear them down. Think of your kidneys like workers trying to clean a busy city. The blood is the city, the waste is the trash, and the nephrons are the workers trying to keep everything under control. When the workload increases or the conditions get tougher, those workers struggle. And when the tools they need are affected by your daily habits, the job becomes even harder. And here's the twist almost nobody expects. Your biggest kidney problem might not be coming from protein or salt at all. It might be hiding in your favorite healthy flavors. What if I told you your spice rack acts more like a pharmacy than a flavor shelf, whether you realize it or not? Most people see spices as simple additions to make food taste better. But the truth is that many of them behave like powerful compounds that can either support or damage your kidneys. These spices can influence inflammation levels, change how your body handles blood sugar, affect circulation, and even interfere with the way medications are processed. That means every shake, sprinkle, or pinch you add to your food is doing much more inside your body than you think. It's interesting how doctors always talk about protein, sodium, and fluid intake, but rarely mention what sits in your kitchen cabinet. You hear advice about lowering salt, adjusting diet, and avoiding certain foods, but almost nobody tells you how turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, black pepper, chili, and nutmeg can impact your kidney health. These are everyday ingredients people use without thinking, yet they can push your creatinine up or help bring it down. The surprising part is that these spices don't need to be eaten in large amounts to influence your kidneys. Small daily use builds up over time. What makes this even more important is how divided these spices are. 3 of them, turmeric, cinnamon, and ginger, can support your nephrons, reduce stress, and make your filtering system's job easier. They lower inflammation, improve blood sugar control, and help your kidneys flush waste more effectively. On the other hand, 3 others, black pepper in high amounts, chili, peppers, and nutmeg, can act like slow poison for kidneys that are already struggling. They increase oxidative stress, worsen inflammation, and make it harder for damaged nephrons to keep your creatinine under control. The real twist is that most people use both groups every single week without having any idea which ones are helping and which ones are creating more harm. A sprinkle here and there doesn't feel important, but for weak kidneys, these tiny choices add up quickly. Your spice rack is shaping your kidney health every day, whether you're aware of it or not. So let's flip the script and start with the heroes first, but the spices that quietly help lower creatinine and protect your filtering units, starting with 1 yellow powder that's probably collecting dust in your kitchen right now. The first spice hero doesn't just color your food, it flips a master switch inside your kidney cells. Turmeric has been used for centuries, but most people don't realize that its real power comes from a compound inside it called curcumin. Curcumin is the part that gives turmeric its bright yellow color. But more importantly, it helps your kidneys by blocking the inflammatory proteins that keep damaging your nephrons. When inflammation goes down, your filtering units can work with less stress, and that gives your kidneys a better chance to manage creatinine levels. Curcumin also activates something called NRF2. Think of NRF2 as your body's internal defense switch. When this switch turns on, your cells start producing more antioxidants. These antioxidants reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the biggest reasons kidney cells weaken over time. With less oxidative damage and less inflammation, your nephrons get a break from the constant pressure they face every day. Over weeks of consistent use, this support can help improve the environment inside your kidneys and make it easier for your body to keep creatinine under control. Turmeric can be used in different forms. The powder is the most common and easy to add to food or drinks. But the challenge with using only powder is that you would need a larger amount to get enough curcumin. A standardized curcumin supplement lists the exact curcumin content, which makes it easier to reach typical daily doses of about 500 to 1,000 milligrams. Whatever form you choose, the key is consistency. Turmeric doesn't work overnight. Your kidneys need steady support for several weeks before the benefits become noticeable. Black pepper can help your body absorb curcumin better, but we'll talk more about pepper later because too much of it can create its own problems. But inflammation isn't the only attack your kidneys are facing. The next spice hero protects you from something even more dangerous. The sugar damage that hits your nephrons after every meal. Every spike in your blood sugar is like sandpaper scraping across your kidney filters, unless you use this simple baking spice wisely. Cinnamon has a direct impact on how your body handles sugar, and that matters more than most people realize when it comes to protecting the nephrons. When blood sugar rises sharply after a meal, sugar molecules attach to proteins inside your bloodstream. This process, called glycation, creates sticky compounds that gunk up your kidney filters and cause scarring over time. The more often this happens, the harder it becomes for your kidneys to keep creatinine under control. Cinnamon helps break this cycle by improving how your cells respond to insulin. When your cells use insulin more efficiently, your blood sugar doesn't spike as high after meals. Lower, steadier glucose levels mean fewer of these damaging compounds form, and that reduces the constant stress your nephrons face. This indirect protection helps your kidneys stay stable for longer, especially if your creatinine has been creeping up due to long-term sugar damage. Not all cinnamon is the same. Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, is the safer option for daily use because it contains very low levels of a compound called coumarin. Cassia cinnamon, which is the cheaper and more common type found in many stores, has much higher coumarin levels. Using cassia every day for months can put stress on your liver, which is the last thing you need when your kidneys are already under pressure. If you plan to use cinnamon regularly, choosing Ceylon is the smarter and safer choice. You only need about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of cinnamon per day to get the benefits. It can be sprinkled on oatmeal, added to smoothies, mixed into warm drinks, or blended into yogurt. Just avoid taking large amounts at once and never swallow dry cinnamon, as it can irritate your throat and lungs. But even if you control inflammation and blood sugar, there's still one more piece your kidneys desperately need. And it comes from a spice most people only think about when they're sick. What if one spice in your tea is rescuing your kidneys, while the black specks you sprinkle on everything are quietly pushing them closer to failure? Ginger is one of the most underrated spices when it comes to kidney support. It helps your body in 2 important ways: improving circulation and boosting antioxidant defenses. Better blood flow means your kidneys receive more oxygen and nutrients, and can move waste more efficiently through the filtering units. When circulation improves, creatinine and other waste products don't build up as quickly, giving your nephrons a chance to work with less strain. Ginger also contains compounds called gingerols. These gingerols activate your body's natural antioxidant systems, which neutralize the harmful molecules that attack kidney cells every day. By reducing oxidative stress, ginger helps slow down the gradual damage that weakens nephrons over time. You don't need huge amounts to benefit. 1 to 3 grams a day is enough, whether you use it fresh in tea, add the powder to meals, or take it in capsule form. Many people find that a simple cup of ginger tea in the afternoon keeps them feeling lighter and supports their kidney function in a gentle way. But here's the twist. While ginger helps, black pepper can quietly create the opposite effect if you use too much of it. The active compound in black pepper is called piperine. Piperine interferes with enzymes your kidneys use to process medications and other compounds. When these enzymes slow down, your kidneys are forced to work harder to clear everything from your bloodstream. For people with healthy kidneys, this isn't usually a big issue, but if you already have high creatinine or weakened nephrons, this extra workload can add real stress. A small sprinkle of black pepper on your food is generally safe. The problem shows up when people use heavy amounts on every meal or take supplements that contain concentrated piperine. Many people even mix turmeric with black pepper for better absorption, thinking they're helping their health without realizing they might be overloading their kidneys with too much piperine at the same time. It's an easy mistake to make, especially when you're trying to do everything right, and black pepper isn't the only harmless flavor doing real damage. The next spice has been sold as a metabolism booster, but what it does inside inflamed kidneys is like throwing gasoline on a burning house. That satisfying burn on your tongue might feel exciting, but for damaged kidneys, it can feel like a slow-motion attack. Chili peppers and hot sauces get their heat from a compound called capsaicin. In small amounts, capsaicin isn't a problem for most people, but when it's used heavily and repeatedly, it can drive inflammation and oxidative stress inside kidney tissue that's already struggling. Inflamed kidneys lose their ability to filter waste smoothly, and oxidative stress creates unstable molecules that hit the nephrons again and again. Over time, this kind of pressure can push creatinine higher, even if the rest of your diet looks clean. The key difference is how often you use spicy foods. A tiny sprinkle of chili once in a while won't cause major issues for most people. The real risk comes from daily heavy use. Hot sauces poured over every meal, extra chili flakes on each dish, spicy ramen bowls, wings drenched in sauce, or street food loaded with heat. These habits create repeated hits of irritation that sensitive kidneys cannot tolerate. People with healthy kidneys usually handle spice without much trouble because their filtering units have enough strength to recover from small inflammatory triggers. But when creatinine is already elevated, the margin for damage becomes much smaller. What feels like normal spice to you might feel like too much stress to weakened nephrons. Many people don't realize this, especially if they've eaten spicy food their whole life and think their tolerance automatically means safety. Flavor tolerance and kidney tolerance are two different things. These spice habits add up quickly when you eat spicy noodles, chili-coated snacks, heavily seasoned grilled foods, or use hot sauces as a regular part of your meals. Each burst of heat brings another wave of stress to kidneys that can no longer afford the pressure. But the most dangerous spice in your cabinet isn't the one that burns your tongue. It's the one that feels cozy, sweet, and holiday safe. And almost nobody realizes how toxic it can become for struggling kidneys. The spice that makes pumpkin pie and lattes feel warm and comforting can quietly turn toxic for your kidneys. Nutmeg is used in small amounts to add a cozy flavor to sweet drinks and desserts, but many people don't realize that it contains a compound called myristicin. Myristicin is not dangerous in tiny culinary amounts, but when nutmeg is used often or in heavier portions, it can create direct stress on kidney cells. This compound can trigger oxidative damage inside the nephrons, which slowly reduces their filtering ability and makes creatinine rise over time. The problem is that nutmeg doesn't only show up in obvious recipes. It hides in chai lattes, pumpkin spice drinks, baked goods, eggnog, spice blends for desserts, and even some savory dishes. Because it delivers a warm, sweet taste, people often use more of it without thinking, especially during certain seasons. Someone might add nutmeg to their coffee, bake with it on weekends, or drink spiced beverages regularly, not realizing that the compound inside it is adding pressure to kidneys that are already struggling. For someone with healthy kidneys, occasional nutmeg doesn't cause trouble because the filtering units can handle small levels of reactive compounds. But for anyone with high creatinine or early kidney disease, the safety margin is much smaller. Tiny sprinkles used rarely are generally safe, but frequent use, especially daily or heavy amounts, can push the kidneys beyond their comfort zone. The danger comes from repetition. A little here, a little there, and suddenly the total load becomes enough to irritate weakened nephrons. This is why nutmeg becomes a hidden risk. People see it as gentle and harmless because it's associated with comfort foods, holiday drinks, and sweet flavors. But underneath that pleasant taste is a compound that inflames and stresses kidney cells when used too often. So now you've met the three heroes and the three villains, but knowing their names isn't enough. The real magic happens when you see how to build your day around them, starting with the first thing you drink tomorrow morning. What if you could turn your entire day into a quiet kidney-healing routine without feeling like you're on a diet at all? The real twist in using spices for kidney support isn't only about choosing the right ones. It's about how often you use them and when you use them. Your kidneys work around the clock, so the help you give them should also be spaced throughout the day. Timing matters more than people realize because small, steady support is far more effective than one big dose that disappears in a few hours. A kidney-smart day starts the moment you wake up. In the morning, a turmeric and Ceylon cinnamon drink, often called a simple golden milk variation, can give your kidneys an early boost against inflammation and sugar damage. This sets the tone for the whole day because your first meal is when blood sugar usually rises the fastest. Combining these two spices early helps reduce stress on your filtering units before they face the workload that comes with breakfast and lunch. Midday is when your kidneys do some of their heaviest filtering, so this is the perfect time for ginger. A warm cup of ginger tea around this time supports circulation and helps your kidneys move waste more efficiently. Better blood flow in the afternoon means your nephrons can keep up with the constant waste your body is producing. It's a simple habit, but consistent circulation support can make a real difference over the long run. Evening should be the calmest part of your routine. This is when it helps to avoid heavy spicy meals, strong hot sauces, or nutmeg-filled desserts and drinks. Gentler flavors give your kidneys a break at a time when your body is winding down, and they need steady, low-stress conditions to recover from the entire day's workload. Spreading these supportive spices throughout your day keeps a protective effect moving through your system. It works alongside what your doctor already recommends, like balanced protein and low sodium instead of replacing professional advice. It's about creating a rhythm that makes life easier for your nephrons. But even with the perfect spice routine, there's one thing that can completely sabotage your progress. and it happens the moment you open your lab results or sit in front of your doctor. One of the most dangerous things for your kidneys isn't a spice. It's what happens in your head when your numbers go up. When people see their creatinine rising again, the emotional reaction hits harder than the medical result. Fear sets in first. The fear that things are getting worse, that the next test might be even higher, or that they're running out of time. Then comes hopelessness, the heavy feeling that no matter what they do, nothing seems to work. These emotions quietly push people toward two unhealthy extremes. Some people slip into denial. They stop looking at their reports closely and go back to eating whatever is convenient. They assume that one more spicy meal or sugary drink won't matter, or they avoid thinking about kidney health altogether because it feels overwhelming. On the other side, some people panic. They jump into crash diets, cut out entire food groups, or buy random supplements hoping for a miracle. Both reactions come from fear, and both end up making things worse instead of better. Real progress with kidney health doesn't come from fear-based decisions. It comes from calm, steady actions repeated over time. Small changes in spices and flavors may not feel dramatic, but they're the kind of decisions that protect your nephrons day after day. When you consistently use turmeric, cinnamon, or ginger while reducing black pepper, chili, and nutmeg, you create a gentle environment that helps your kidneys work with less stress. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to stay steady instead of swinging between panic and avoidance. Every time you choose what to add to your food, you're voting for your kidneys or against them. These tiny votes add up. They're the difference between slow improvement and slow decline. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't need a perfect diet or a perfect day to move your creatinine in the right direction. You just need one small, repeatable habit that stacks up over time. If trying to fix everything at once has only left you exhausted, start with this. Just one spice once a day. Many people get overwhelmed when they try to change their entire routine overnight, and that stress makes it hard to stick with anything. The truth is that your kidneys respond better to steady support than sudden, drastic changes. Choosing one protective spice, turmeric, cinnamon, or ginger, and using it daily can make a bigger difference than a full week of extreme dieting or strict restrictions that you can't maintain. A single, consistent ritual is easier to follow and easier for your body to benefit from. A morning drink with turmeric or cinnamon gives your kidneys early support. A daily cup of ginger tea keeps circulation moving and reduces stress on your filters. These routines become habits, and habits create real progress. They stay with you even when life gets busy, unlike sudden changes that fade after a few days. Consider simple examples. Someone who added turmeric to a warm drink every morning and cut back on hot sauce didn't change their entire diet, but their kidneys stopped feeling constantly irritated. Another person replaced nutmeg-heavy drinks with a sprinkle of Ceylon cinnamon instead. That small switch reduced oxidative stress and helped their creatinine stabilize over time. These improvements came from small decisions repeated daily, not from big sacrifices or painful restrictions. You don't need perfection to move your numbers in the right direction. You don't need to eliminate everything you enjoy. You don't need to follow complicated plans. What matters is showing up every day for your kidneys in a small, predictable way. Consistency beats intensity, especially when your kidneys are already under pressure. But when you zoom out and look at the big picture, something even bigger comes into focus. Your kitchen might actually be more powerful than your prescription shelf. What if the most powerful place to fight for your kidneys isn't the hospital, but the few square feet of countertop in your kitchen? Medications matter, and your doctor's guidance is essential, but the choices you make with food and spices work inside your body every single day. They show up at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even in your drinks. That means small daily habits often have more influence on your kidneys than the treatments you only take once or twice a day. Your kitchen decisions can either support what your doctor is trying to do or quietly undo that progress without you realizing it. Across this journey, you've seen a simple pattern. Turmeric, cinnamon, and ginger are protectors. They reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, improve circulation, and help your kidneys handle creatinine with less pressure. These spices give your nephrons room to breathe and work more efficiently. On the other side, black pepper in heavy amounts, frequent chili, and regular nutmeg use create stress for kidneys that are already weak. They raise inflammation, increase oxidative stress, and push your filtering units harder than they can handle. The real support comes from timing, consistency, and staying calm. When you use these helpful spices throughout the day instead of all at once, your kidneys receive steady protection. When you stay consistent instead of extreme, your body responds better. And when you avoid panic and make stable choices, you prevent the emotional swings that lead to harmful habits. The most important message is that you're not helpless. You're not stuck waiting for your next lab test to tell you whether things are getting worse. You can support your kidneys in small ways every day and work alongside your doctor instead of against your own progress. Here's a simple plan you can start tomorrow. Pick one protective spice and build a daily ritual around it. It could be turmeric in a morning drink, cinnamon on your oatmeal, or ginger tea after lunch. Then choose one harmful spice to cut back on immediately, such as hot sauce, heavy black pepper, or nutmeg-filled drinks. Notice how your body feels over the next few weeks, not days, because slow change is real progress. Today we focused on what's hiding in your spice rack. In the next video, I'll show you the healthy breakfast foods that quietly erase all of this progress before 10 a.m., even in people who swear they're eating clean.